All right, this is We the People News. One more time at it. All right, so I'm gonna go through a couple of different type of videos and show you how judicial branch is actually acting in dishonor. Okay, and no matter what things we try to do, right? Uh, the security guards, the sheriff, the police, is always protecting them, FBI, and all these kind of things. And even when they break the law, okay, which, like I said before, police officers, 9 times out of 10, even though they break the law, they get punished by breaking policy. If they even ever get punished. Okay? Same way sheriffs and other organizations, they very rarely get held responsibility of breaking law. They break policy and they get in trouble with internal administrative, right? And so I just want to kind of get this ball rolling, and I'm gonna do a set of videos from this guy of his story of going through the beginning to the end of his judicial thing with officers and filing complaints on officers and all that. So it's an interesting process that he went through and still never got remedy. Okay, that is the question. Remedy. All right, so I'm going to just use this as a short video just to kind of get balls rolling, but I got a couple of other people in different areas that's having the same problem. So it's just not localized judges like only sticking to California or Texas. It's the countrywide itself.
Process. I also repeatedly made complaints to so-called Governor Gavin Newsom's office. I have never received a response to a single complaint. I recently served a records request on his office for a copy of all documents pertaining to any investigations of my complaints. All I received back were copies of the complaint documents, indicating that no full, fair, impartial, or independent investigation had ever been conducted. Certainly no intervention has taken place.
It has everything to do with every one of us needs to do everything in our power to wake people up and sober people up to what's going on in this country.
I want to be clear about another issue. I'm not saying police departments should be turned into courts of appeal. Not at all. They're not vested with judicial power. I'm not talking about a police department reviewing a judgment that was made with lawful authority. I'm talking about judgments that are unlawful, where crimes and treason are being committed, and there is no remedy in the judicial branch of government that is committing the crimes and using its power to cover it up by denying lawful remedies. Here it is in the words of James Madison, the so-called father of our Constitution.
An elective despotism was not the government we fought for, but one which should not only be founded on free principles, but in which the powers of government should be so divided and balanced as that no one could transcend their legal limits without being effectually checked and restrained by the others.
The executive branch was specifically intended to be a check and balance on the judicial branch when it usurps authority. And if a judge exercises authority that he, she, it, they, them, there doesn't have, and takes money, property, or liberty without lawful authority, you have the right to go directly to law enforcement. And if there's a right to an appeal, to do that as well, even simultaneously. I'm
going to extend that more than anything else. Your sheriff. Let me repeat this. Not really the cops, not the FBI, but your sheriff. Okay? Now, FBI agencies and things like that may be in the federal deal, but that being said, even if it's federal and it's in your state, the federal court's in your state, the sheriff has the authority and the duty to arrest that judge for unlawful orders or opinions and all that. All right, this is the reason why we actually have the sheriffs here, is to keep the check and balances. And really, it started off sheriffs, maintaining the courts peace in the courts, right? The judge is not allowed to give me unlawful directives, or the judge could be under arrest by that deputy that's sitting there protecting the peace in the court. Vice versa, if I do something unlawful, then the sheriff should arrest me in that court building. All right? That's the sole purpose of him being there. Okay? Is to keep the peace and not let runaway government. Okay? And initially, he's voted in to protect your rights from everyone else, even from the president. Okay? We just give all these people too much power, and we let the corruption go on for so long. Way back when, and I cannot remember who it says, but there was a saying, right? Anything is being done behind closed doors is where the tyranny begins, right? So you get these special sessions behind closed doors and not in the public. It don't matter if it's a business trying to get consent from your, your local township. That should be open to the public, whether we agree or disagree with that business being there, because it affects the whole city, the whole township, right? We have a right to voice our opinion, protest them, and petition them not to let particular business be in there. Okay? But it's not supposed to be behind closed doors. We're supposed to have all this open to us, including the courts. They're not allowed to say, hey, you cannot record or do this and this and this and this. Anything at all that's contradictory to what? The Supreme Court or the Constitution. That is their scope of authority. They cannot do a bypass on it. It's laid out perfectly. It's not the best in the world. Well, it's best in our world. But there's a deal there where they cannot trespass upon your rights. All right. Enough of my written lady. This is really